A strange alien voice echoed across every device on Earth, from smartphones to satellites, from televisions in homes to massive military monitors. The message was the same, cold, deep, and mocking. You have lost your place in the stars. Stay silent. Stay small. People froze. Families stopped mid-meal. Soldiers paused their drills. World leaders stared in silence. The voice belonged to an alien species, a high member of the Galactic Council. It was not just a warning, it was a declaration. The Galactic Council, the ruling force of the known galaxy, had judged Earth guilty of breaking interstellar laws. But Earth had not done anything. There had been no attack, no invasion, no war. And yet, the Council acted like the decision had already been made. Earth's leaders tried to communicate. Messages were sent, evidence shared, but the Council did not listen. The broadcasts continued. More threats came. The last one was clear. Any action against this decision will be seen as rebellion, and rebellion will be erased. Fear spread across the planet. News channels ran 24/7s. Debates exploded. Some called for surrender. Others wanted revenge. But then, nothing happened. Earth went silent. There were no missiles launched. No fleets moved. No replies given. Humanity, it seemed, had accepted the judgment. Days passed, then weeks. The galaxy mocked Earth's silence. On alien social networks, humans were called the quiet species. Memes of Earth hiding behind the moon went viral in alien systems. Laughter filled the stars, but Earth remained quiet, hidden far away from the chaos. Deep under the frozen mountains of Antarctica lay a massive underground complex. No one knew it existed, not even most world governments. Teat had no name on maps, no signal in the air, no sound from within. But tonight, it was awake. Inside, a small group of people sat in a large circular chamber. Their uniforms had no country flags. Their eyes were calm, focused. On the wall behind them glowed one word: Revenant. A screen showed the alien message playing again. The same deep voice. The same warning. One of the men in the room, a tall figure with silver hair, paused the video and stood. A dank silence. Means weakness, he said quietly. They still don't understand. Another voice, a woman's, responded from the shadows. Then maybe it's time they do. The man looked at a console in front of him. A key was inserted into a metal panel. Slowly, he turned it. A loud hum began to build in the chamber, deep and mechanical. Lights on the walls blinked to life. Somewhere, far away, systems began to wake. Codes unlocked. Ancient circuits flowed with power again. On a distant screen, the image of a ship appeared. Black, jagged, sleeping under layers of red Martian dust. It was unlike any known vessel. No alien tech looked like it. No human nation had claimed it. It was old and new. It had been built in secret over decades by the forgotten minds of Earth's greatest engineers. They had vanished from public life, some thought dead, others lost. But they had come here to finish one final project. They called it the Vengeance Ship, but its true name was Revenant. The tall man walked toward the main control board. His voice was low, almost like a whisper, but it carried through the room like thunder. Earth doesn't need to shout. We don't need to argue. We don't need to beg. We remember what they did. We remember every insult, every death, every lie. But others nodded. No one cheered. No applause. Only silence. Silence, and something colder dashed determination. Outside the base, the wind howled over the frozen land. Snow covered the steel entrance like a grave. But underground, the machine had awakened. In orbit, old satellites suddenly reconnected. Far, on Mars, The dust around the Revenant ship began to shift. Red particles lifted into the air as the ancient hull warmed. Engines hummed softly. Hidden systems came back online. The galaxy remained unaware. Alien sensors detected nothing. To them, Earth was still quiet. Back in the bunker, a final light blinked green. The tall man looked over at the control team. His expression was calm, but his eyes burned with the fire of history. He gave the order. "Activate the Vengeance ship," said a voice in the shadows. Opening hook suspense will start. For 3 long days, Earth remained completely silent. No military action, no words, no signs of war. The aliens laughed. In the outer systems of the galaxy, alien broadcasts ran mock headlines. Humans accept their place. Earth surrenders without a fight. The silent species. Then, truth, Earth wasn't silent out of fear. Earth was waiting. Scene begins. In Earth's orbit, satellites continued to drift silently. Space stations looked cold and empty. But somewhere, much farther away, beneath the red sands of Mars, something ancient was waking up. Deep underground, sealed away from all eyes, the Vengeance ship Revenant was alive. Not fully. Not yet. But its core had been warmed. Its heart had started beating. Cut to the Mars base visual and suspense. In a hidden Martian base, a single figure stood alone before a wide, glowing window. Her name was Commander Sierra Lynn, the last living member of the Revenant's original build team. For 20 years, she had lived in isolation, training, preparing. Now, she whispered one word to herself. Soon, behind her, giant robotic arms moved over the ship. They cleaned ancient dust. They recharged weapon ports. They opened hatches that hadn't seen light in decades. This was not a normal warship. It was not built by any one nation. It was humanity's final answer. It was revenge turned into steel and fire. Meanwhile, on the alien, high tension belts. On the Galactic Council flagship, Orovon, alien commanders discussed Earth's silence. "They have given up," said one general. "Cowards," hissed another. "Could let them stay on their dirt ball of a planet." But the youngest among them, a thin alien scientist with glowing blue eyes, leaned forward. Double quotes. "No. ... It's too quiet," he said. "Something doesn't feel right." He pulled up old war data files, logs, classified Earth research, but most of it ended in black boxes. Sealed, redacted, deleted. He shivered. They're hiding something. No one listened. Back to Mars escalation. Commander Sarah stood inside the Revenant now. The halls were dark and tight, cold metal. No sound, but the ship felt alive. Kit was breathing with her. She reached the control chamber and placed her hand on the glowing panel. A soft voice echoed through the ship's interior. "Identity confirmed. Commander Lynn. Human. Primary. Operator." The lights turned blue. Engines came online. Target systems activated in space. A ripple of energy pulsed outward from Mars. Alien scanners caught a signal, but it was too fast, too strange. They ignored it. Big mistake. Closing scene, suspense finish. From orbit, Martian dust exploded into the sky. The ground split open, and from the canyon below, the Revenant rose, silent, black, cold. It made no sound. It lit no signal. But it moved fast, toward deep space, toward vengeance. Last line, suspense, cliffhanger in the command center beneath Antarctica. A voice spoke calmly into the silence. "The storm has left Mars. Let the galaxy feel our silence." The Galactic Council had reached its limit. 4 ships had vanished. 2 probes lost. And now, merchants were refusing to travel near Earth. Trade routes collapsed. Fear spread. But Earth, still silent. No messages, no claims, no warnings. In that Silence was starting to scream. Scene, emergency council meeting, tension grows in the heart of the council. Panic had replaced pride. We're under attack, Safvell said. It's not a fleet. It's not a war. It's something else. They tapped a button, showing projections. Destroyed ships, lost probes, sudden energy spikes. The Emperor stood slowly. His voice was heavy. Send a message to Earth. Tell them, a voice interrupted him. No need, said a young aide. The humans. They've already sent something. The chamber went quiet. Play it. Cut 2. Earth's message. Dramatic. Reveal. Across every council communication channel. A message appeared. It wasn't video. It wasn't sound. Just text. White letters. Black screen. And it read, "This is Earth. You warned us once. You attacked our people. You erased our voices. You called it law. We called it betrayal." Pause. Then a second screen. We stayed silent. Now we speak with steel. The room shook with silence. One council general whispered, "They're declaring war." But Safvell shook his head. No, they already started it. Meanwhile, the Revenant's next move high above the icy rings of Saturn. The Revenant floated like a shadow. It no longer needed to hide. It wanted to be seen. Commander Sarah Lynn stood at the center of the bridge. Target. The AI replied, Council Relay Station. Located in deep orbit of Vector 3. Sends 80% of outer system data. She nodded. Cut off their eyes. Seen. Alien Relay Outpost. The strike to relay station at Vector 3 was quiet. Alien technicians floated. In low gravity board. Relaxed. Then the stars blinked. Something blocked their view. A shape. Massive. Black. Silent dot. Then came the power surge. Too fast. Too close. Before anyone could scream. Boom. A blue-white pulse hit the station's center. It collapsed inwards. No alarms. No messages. Gone. One of the galaxy's most important communication links, wiped from existence in 3.2 seconds. Back at Council. HQ. Panic spreads. Reports flooded in. We've lost contact with Vector 3. Unknown ships sighted above Saturn. Earth is behind it. Must be. Suddenly, the Council wasn't arguing. They were afraid. One admiral shouted, "Deploy the 9th Fleet. Surround Earth." But Safvell said something that froze the room. You don't surround Earth. Not anymore. Because Earth isn't the battlefield. Space is. And they control it now. Meanwhile, on Earth, calm before fire, in the cold bunker. Under the Himalayas, the shadows were watching. Every general, every strategist. No one smiled. This wasn't about pride. This was vengeance. The lead strategist spoke. They erased our scientists. They mocked our laws. They killed unarmed medics. We begged for justice. They laughed. He paused. And now, we don't beg. A map lit up. Next target. Council Supply Armada near the Kane system. The order was simple. Send the Revenant. Cut off their breath. Final scene, cliffhanger, and suspense. In deep space, alien freighters carrying supplies for 10 planets floated peacefully. They had no weapons, no shields. They had no idea that death was already above them. The Revenant. Locked on, charging weapons, 10 seconds, 9, 8. Last line, suspense, peak, and across the stars, the galaxy finally understood. Earth had never been silent. They were listening. They were waiting. And now they were answering. In the Kane system, the Council's largest supply fleet floated peacefully. Over 60 ships, medical transports, fuel haulers, food carriers for 5 outer colonies. They believed they were safe. No war declaration. No warnings. No enemies nearby. But war doesn't need permission, because something in the dark had already chosen them. Cut 2. The Revenant's approach. Silent Death Commander Sarah Lynn stood in the dark bridge of the Revenant. Her eyes were calm. Fleet ahead. the AI reported. Multiple non-combat vessels. No escorts. Distance 0.8 light minutes. Sierra gave the order. Strike once. No survivors. Then vanish. The ship's engines didn't roar. They hummed. Cold. Focused. In seconds. The Revenant appeared just behind the fleeting scene, undetected. Then it fired. Attack. Begins cinematic action. A single beam of pale blue light cut through the void. 1, 2, 3 ships exploded instantly. Others tried to scatter, but the Revenant moved faster. It weaved between the chaos like a shadow. Explosions lit up space like fireworks. Crew members screamed into radios that no one answered. "This isn't possible," one shouted. "We're a peaceful convoy." But peace couldn't stop the storm now. One ship tried to launch an escape pod. The Revenant destroyed it mid-flight. Scene. Galactic Council receives a report. Tension rises in the council chamber. Red alarms flashed. The room was frozen in silence. Contact lost with 43 vessels in the Kane sector, a trembling officer said. Video footage shows a single ship. The holoscreen showed a blurry image of the Revenant. Black, sharp, deadly. One council elder whispered, "This is not war, it's extermination." Sathful stood slowly. "We forced Earth to listen for centuries. Now they're finally speaking." Cut to alien civilizations react. Panic spreads. News of the Kane attack spread like wildfire across markets, ports, and colonies. Alien traders refused to travel near Earth's zone. Outer colonies sent emergency messages to council headquarters. Pirate fleets disbanded overnight. Civilian ships rerouted entire courses to avoid human sectors. One message kept appearing across all channels. "Do not enter Saul's shadow. There is something there. It does not forgive." Meanwhile, Earth watches in silence under the Himalayas. The command center was quiet. A young strategist turned to the old general. "Should we deliver demands now?" The general shook his head. "No, not yet." He looked at the map. Dozens of council networks blinking offline. "Let them sweat. Let them fear the silence." He pointed to a new target. "Now we hit something that matters. A symbol. Something they love." Final scene. The council's beacon world. Next target, far away. The council's beacon world really shined bright. Home to academies, cage, history, faults, and culture. The heart of the Galactic Council's pride. Peaceful, proud, untouchable. No one had ever dared to strike it until now in deep space. The Revenant turned and set course for Aurelian. Inside, 3 alien officers sat lazily. They weren't worried. Earth was quiet, too quiet. One of them smirked. "These humans, they bark once, then crawl back into the mud." But something was wrong. Their scanners flickered, lights blinked. Something big was moving nearby. Nothing showed on the radar. Scene shifts to the Revenant. Tension builds. The Revenant, Earth's secret warship, moved like a ghost. No lights, no sound, no signal. It didn't need permission. It didn't need backup. It was the storm Earth had hidden for decades. Inside, Commander Sarah Lynn stood at the center console. She wore a black flight suit with no symbols, no flag, only the ship's name on her chest. Revenant. Target ahead. The ship's AI said calmly. Alien patrol vessel. 3 life forms. Standard shields. Weak armor. Sarah's voice was quiet. No warning. No mercy. Cut to the alien ship. Panic starts. The alien pilot suddenly gasped. "Something's here, right behind us." Before anyone could react, the space around them seemed to twist. The Revenant uncloaked for just a second, long enough for the aliens to see the monstrous black shape. Covered in jagged armor, glowing faint red like a dying star. Then everything went dark. Explosion in silence. Cinematic action. No sound in space, just light. A blue beam fired from the Revenant's underbelly. Silent, precise. The alien patrol ship didn't explode, simply vanished. Atoms scattered into coal dust. No distress call. No trace. Back on the Galactic Council's monitoring network. A red dot disappeared from the map. Technicians stared, confused. Glitch, one asked. But deep in a hidden lab, the young alien scientist from before Zathval watched the feed closely. His eyes widened. Was no glitch. Meanwhile, on Earth's growing suspense, back under the frozen Himalayas, inside the Shadows Command Center, all eyes were on a single monitor. Small notification appeared. First strike successful. No response detected. An old general in the room smiled for the first time in years. It begins. One younger officer asked, "Should we broadcast a warning now?" The general shook his head slowly. "No, let them laugh a little longer." Alien response, unaware of doom, on the capital world of the Galactic Council. Alien leaders argued over Earth's punishment terms. Should they block their trade? Impose a planetary lockdown? One proud senator shouted, "These humans have no fight left. Their silence is submission." But Zathval interrupted. "I request an emergency scan of the outer solar system," Kay said. Laughter filled the room. "You fear a species that can't even leave their own planet." Zathval didn't answer. He just stared at the silent screen, at the vanishing patrol ship, at the shadows growing in deep space. Closing scene, silent threat, far from any telescope. The Revenant drifted like a ghost into the void, heading toward Jupiter's shadow. No one saw it, no one could track it, but its mission was clear. Find, eliminate, repeat, one by one. Every eye watching Earth would go dark. Last line, cliffhanger, and somewhere deep in the black. "The ship's I whispered. "Next target acquired." The Galactic Council was growing restless. Another alien patrol vanished near Earth's system. No distress call, no signal, just silence. "Impossible," one council leader shouted. Humans don't have this kind of power, but they were wrong, and they were about to make their biggest mistake. Seeing council reacts, arrogance versus fear, inside the council chamber. Alien voices echoed loudly. "They're hiding something," said Zathval, the scientist who warned them earlier. "We must investigate." The Emperor of the Council leaned forward, his eyes glowing with pride. "Very well. Send one of our probes. If they try anything, it'll expose their tricks." The chamber agreed. No warships yet, just a probe. Tiny, fast, meant only for spying. They believed humans wouldn't even notice it, but the Revenant had already seen it coming. Cut 2. Earth's shadows watched the skies in a secret command bunker under Greenland's ice. Alarms lit up. A small, fast-moving object had entered Earth's solar system. "Council probe," said the tech officer. Another officer asked, "Shall we intercept?" The general smiled faintly. "No need. Let it come. Let it see something." He tapped a console, far away, near Jupiter's orbit. The Revenant changed course. Meanwhile, the probe approaches Earth. The alien probe zipped past Neptune, then Uranus, then Saturn. It was tiny, stilted sensors scanning every planet, every moon. As it passed Jupiter, it caught a strange distortion in space. It's like light bending in the wrong direction. It slowed down. Scanners tried to focus. Then it saw something. Just for a second. A massive dark shape. Sharp angles. No lights. No markings. It was as if the darkness had teeth. Then, bam. The probe's feed cut to black. Back at the Council, realization begins on the Galactic Council's flagship. The probe's data froze midstream. No response. An officer reported, "It's gone." The room went silent. Zathval stood slowly. That wasn't a natural death. He turned to the Emperor. You've been mocking Earth. But I tell you, now, they've built something powerful. A Ka, and it's hunting us. But the Emperor slammed his fist down. Enough of this fear. Earth is nothing. They have no claim in our skies. Still, our knees grew. One by one, council officers began pulling up old Earth data, the kind that had been erased, the kind that had been hidden. Meanwhile, on board the Revenant, cold precision, inside the dark warship, Commander Cyrillin watched the data. The council probe had been destroyed. Any response? She asked. None, said the AI. She nodded. Good now. Let them start guessing. Scene transition. Alien merchant ship vanishes, and nearby system, a peaceful alien merchant ship carrying goods to Earth's moon, went offline. Its last message, an identified object approaching, then silence. No wreckage, no distress signal, just another dot on the map. Gone. The Revenant had moved again. This time, not for defense. This time, for a message. Final scene. Fear spreads like fire across the galaxy. Whispers started. Earth is not what we thought. They have a weapon. It's not a fleet, not an army. Just one ship. But even one was too much. A single sentence appeared on black market alien channels that night. Do not go near Sol. Death waits in the dark. Last line cliffhanger in her quiet warship. Commander Zira smiled for the first time in years. Soon they'll beg for our silence again. The Galactic Council's Priderillion was untouchable. No war had ever reached its skies. No fleet had dared approach it with anger. It was the capital of peace, the center of law, the shining jewel of the stars. And now, a shadow moved toward. It's seen. Aurelians.com. Morning before the storm, children floated through sky gardens. Scholars debated in tall glass towers. Aliens of every species walked freely across marble paths. Gentle morning on a perfect world. Then a single black dot appeared in the sky. No alarm, no alert, just something wrong. One child pointed. What is that? Her teacher froze. No, it can't be. Cut to Council Command. Panic sirens howled inside Aurelian's Defense Corps. Unknown ship detected. Spy passed outer scans. Defense crews scrambled. We have no ID. It's no fleet signature. Then someone whispered, it's that ship, the Revenant. A silence spread, followed by a wave of fear. Every admiral knew their defenses were useless. Inside the Revenant final move, Commander Cyrillin stood at the control panel. No emotion, no rage, just cold clarity. The AI spoke. Target, Aurelian's communication tower. Symbol of council control. Locked. She said just 2 words. Fire. Once. The beam was clean. Blue. Focused. It tore through the tower like it wasn't real. The symbol of the Galactic Council cracked and fell. Galactic reaction, shock, and collapse. Billions watched across every planet. The tower, the capital, the council, all hit in one single strike. Not a war, not a battle, just a message. A message that echoed across the stars. Earth had been silent, but it had never been weak. Seeing the council surrenders in silence, no fleet was launched. No attack was returned. Instead, a signal was sent to Earth. Short, simple. We hear you. Understand. Please, no more. Back on Earth, the final words in the hidden base. The old general stood beside Cyrillin. She watched the surrender come in. Do we respond? The AI asked. Syrah shook her head. No. Let silence be the lesson. The general whispered. They erased our past. Now we've rewritten the future. Closing lines, emotional and powerful. Across the galaxy, one warning remained. Do not test. Earth. They do not shout. They do not threaten. Okay? They simply end you. And somewhere deep in the stars, the Revenant vanished once again, waiting, watching, the silent guardian of a species that would never be ignored again.